Adonis Paul is a predator, and it should be known. He is a man who makes his living off of tormenting the mentally ill. He seeks out and harasses mentally ill people and then uses their reactions for profit on his own channel. What he can't get in a reaction, he'll take from you and just lie about, and send his fans to get the reaction that he needs so that he can continue paying his bills, thriving off of the constant berating and belittling of other human beings who aren't as strong as he is. Mostly women. If you watch his show, you'll see how he uses women in any form that he can. He uses them for sexual gratification. He uses them for profit. He uses them to make himself feel more powerful, more of a man. Every day he has to tear down another human being to feel like a man himself. And for 1.5 years, I've been one of those people that he comes to every day to attack. And there's no escape from it. You say, just block him. I have. I've blocked him and about 10 or 15 of his spam accounts. And no matter how many times I block him, he'll always be commenting again in the very next video, angry that I had the nerve to try to block him. I genuinely feel stalked by him because I have told him repeatedly that I don't like him. I don't like what he uses my content on his show. I don't like the way he portrays me. I don't like the things that he says to me. I block, I report, I beg him to leave me alone. And there's nothing I can do. Anywhere I am, he'll find me. He takes my things from YouTube, he takes them from Facebook, from anywhere I post. And even in real life in the past, he's told me that he has people here in California that follow me around and keep him updated on me. He had people staking out a dispensary once to see if it was one that I went to, so that they could take pictures of me going to a dispensary that they could use against me. And that dispensary has since closed down multiple times. They always reopen, but every couple of weeks that dispensary gets shut down. And I think that it's partly because Adonis Paul and his followers have been putting so much attention on it, because they don't want me to smoke marijuana in California. And so they're trying to have these shops shut down, just like they took my therapist and my doctor away. I'm not allowed to have a therapist anymore. Like, before at least I had somebody that I could go see once a week who was supportive. I can't go see that person anymore when I get upset because they threatened her life. Not only did they threaten her life, they threatened her job. They wrote to try to take her license away. And they also mass called and mass emailed the mental health clinic that I was going to at that time to try to have me put. They were trying to have the clinic shut down and my therapist license taken away because they would not do what my stalkers wanted done with my therapy, which was they wanted me to be locked in a mental hospital. And because of my mental health issues with being locked up, my therapist refused to do that. And as a result, the stalkers got very angry and they threatened my therapist, they threatened my doctor, they threatened the entirety of the hospital that I was going to. And as a result, when my therapist left, I decided not to get another one because I didn't want my new therapist to also go through the same kind of harassment that my old one went through. Because if it was anything like what I had been going through, I didn't want another human being to have to deal with that. And so I haven't had a supportive person to turn to and talk to since I think February of this year. And I also haven't been on my medication for a couple of months because, well, that was a mistake. I thought my insurance was off because CVS told me that it wasn't going through, but it turned out that it was on. But I can't get my medication now because I don't. If I go back to my doctor, they're going to want me to see a therapist again. If I start seeing a therapist again, that person is going to start receiving death threats or rape threats. And I cannot hold that in my heart. I cannot go to sleep at night knowing that another woman might be receiving these types of messages because they're trying to help me. And anybody that tries to help me gets this treatment. It's a lot. I have a panic disorder, anxiety disorders. I'm severely depressed. I have CPTSD, which is compound post-traumatic stress disorder, which Adonis Paul claims doesn't exist. This is one of the ways that he makes people hate me. He tells people that I've created my own mental health issues when it's something that I was diagnosed with. I was told that it means that I have multiple post-traumatic stress incidences compounding on top of each other because I wasn't getting therapy in between them. And that's like, I was raised in an abusive household. I went to 10 different schools because in elementary school, the schools kept trying to get me to see a therapist and my parents refused. And so they would have to just move me to another school because they didn't want to deal with the teachers pressuring them to get me help when I very clearly needed help for what was happening in that house. And I didn't get therapy for that. And then I got married to a man who was abusive and then came out to me as transgender and told me that he never actually loved me and just needed to convince everybody that he was straight. And I didn't get treatment for that. And then the murder. And I finally started receiving treatment. And then I was homeless for 5 years. And that's a whole nother level. And I haven't really received treatment for the homeless bit. Like, I still don't feel like I can own anything. I still feel like I have to stay packed and ready to get out at any second. Which is a way that you live when you're homeless. You're always feeling like you need to move. The only difference is now I don't have to sleep with my shoes on. I had a support system here before. When I was homeless, I had people that cared about me. And then I got my Section 8, and a month later, these people started making videos about me. And my support was entirely gone. And surprisingly, I still need support. That's why I'm not just getting better. They constantly put me down for not getting better, but they haven't even given me a chance. They've done everything they could to take away any amount of support that I ever had just so they could continue to mock me for not getting better. These types of channels should not be allowed on YouTube. They just shouldn't. Adonis Paul and Daywave Radio, Hatman, VerGG, none of them, or any other predatory channel. If their entire channel is about mocking the disabled, or the different, or the homeless, they should not be profiting anywhere. These are not things that we should be supporting and applauding